Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'll be starting on my first bullet journal ever and I'm so excited about it. I first stumbled upon a bullet journal video back in February of 2020 and I was just so excited by the whole idea of it, and I really wanted to try out bullet journaling as well, but I decided to wait till the new year so that I'll be able to start afresh. Anyway, it's not like I really needed a bullet journal for 2020 considering I really didn't do that much. But anyway, I've lit a candle and I have a cup of water by my side, so let's begin. For 2021, I'll be using the Tsuki Gentle Giant notebook from Notebook Therapy, and I'm so excited to begin using this journal. It looks absolutely beautiful. It has such an elegant gold embossing of a whale against the backdrop of a night sky on the cover page, and the cover page is velvety, which is really nice to the touch. The spine of the book, it has a little gold embossing of a small wave, and I think that adds such a nice touch. So I'm just starting off by writing my name on the cover page. I got my inspiration for the setup for 2021 from Pinterest. So what I did was to just go onto Pinterest and try looking for color palettes that I would want to use, and I'll save the color palettes that I like onto my board, and afterwards I'll take a screenshot of the color palettes that I want to use and put them onto my Procreate, which is on my iPad, which is where I draw my layouts just to get a rough sensing of how I want my design to look like. Coming up with a rough draft on my iPad first before transferring it to my bullet journal really helped a lot, as I was really less stressed about directly painting onto my bullet journal. Afterwards, I looked for artworks that I would like, so I'm really inspired by the very, like abstract monocolor kind of paintings, so I was trying to go for that kind of look. So anyway, moving on to my first page on my bullet journal, I'll be doing a little painting on the left side, and it's kind of mimicking a sun rising over the horizon along with rolling hills in the foreground. And anyway, there'll be a small quote at the bottom that says "a new beginning," and I think that is really quite appropriate for me as I'm starting on my first bullet journal, and I think for all of us in general, moving from 2020 to 2021, I think we are all just looking for a new beginning. And now for the most satisfying part, which is peeling off the washi tape. On hindsight, I really wanted to input the sound of the washi tape being peeled off into the video as well, but I was watching Friends, so I can't unmute my video. But yeah, that would have been some nice ASMR. I'm using the Sakura Pigment Micron Fine Liner with the 05 nib because I wanted a slightly larger font for my quote at the bottom. And now moving on to my key. I'm painting a terracotta color on the bottom of the page, and it's going to look like a little piece of the desert at the bottom of my key. Afterwards, I'm using a washi tape as a stencil to draw a circle at the top, which is going to be where I paint my sun later. And afterwards, I'm just lettering the word key in my Tombow dual brush pen. So now moving on to my grid spacing layout. So I mostly just followed Amanda Rich Lee's video on how to set up the grid spacing, because obviously this was my first time bullet journaling and I wasn't really sure how to set it up. But anyway, I just wrote numbers horizontally and vertically along the whole length of the page, and it's just for me to know how many dot spaces there actually is. And afterwards, I just divided my page up into halves, thirds and quarters, and I used a different colored pen for my thirds and my quarters just to make it easier for me to see it. So I kind of messed up over here in terms of the spacing. I did not leave enough space for my spacing, so I decided to just paint over it with a yellow color and just letter the words over the yellow paint. And afterwards I decided to paste my white color grid washi tape for good measure, and it is my favorite washi tape, so I really wanted to incorporate it into my 2021 bullet journal setup as well. And on the right side I'm doing a quote page, and it says be kind to yourself, and I think this is a very meaningful quote, especially because I'm always a bit hard on myself and I always strive for perfection in a way. And especially going into my first bullet journal, I have so many expectations about how I want it to turn out, and I think it's very important to remember that it's okay to make mistakes as well. Now on to my dreams and goals page. So on my left side will be my dreams page, and I'll be painting the night sky with a really nice dark blue color. And I think I was trying to give like a kind of magical, dreamy kind of vibe, which is appropriate for the dreams that we are setting, right? And on the right side will be my goals page, and I'm just painting a road that leads to the horizon and it's just in the middle of nowhere, and I think that's quite relevant to when we set goals. We're just on a journey to getting somewhere. And now for the final touch to my dreams page. I'm using a paintbrush with white gouache and quite a lot of water, and I'm hitting it with another paintbrush so that there will be splashes of white, and I think that once I did that, it really started to come together. And now I'm just lettering the words dreams and goals onto my pages, and to link to the previous page, I'm using my Posca paint pen to just do a little bit of scribbles. And once I'm done with that, we are done with the dreams and goals page. And now moving on to the next setup, I'm doing the year in themes. So I'm painting the whole background with a terracotta color, and I'm leaving negative spaces where I want to do my monthly themes in. And I've been painting the monthly themes to make it look like it's a Polaroid, so that it will look like it's a Polaroid stuck against a wall, if that makes sense. And now for my future lot spreads, which I'm personally the most excited about because they turned out so much better in my opinion than I had expected them to be. Now, I'll be splitting them up into two, so I'll be doing January through to June for the first half, and then July all the way to December for the second half. So for the first half of the year, I'll be painting a desert in the daytime. So I'm just using various shades of brown, and then afterwards I'm using a washi tape to trace out little circles to represent each month for the first half of the year. I'm painting little suns for each of the months. And then I'm following it up by lettering the words over each month. Overall, I think I'm really happy with how this spread turned out. I think it looks really cheerful and just bright and cheery, and I love that so much. Now I'm just writing in all the different dates so that it'll be easy for me to look at it when I'm writing down my future logs. And now for the second half of the year, so I'm contrasting it to the first half of the year by also painting a desert, but this time at night. So I'm using various shades of blue just to mimic how the sand dunes will look like in the nighttime. And then afterwards, I'm using the same washi tape to draw circles, but this time around I'm going back at it again to trace out a little crescents, and then I'm painting them in using a really dark blue color as well. Afterwards, I lettered each month using the Uniball Signal Gold pen, which I think added such a nice finishing touch to the whole spread. Afterwards, I wrote down all the different dates, and do not follow the same mistake as I did, because I wrote down all the dates for 2020 for the second half of the year, and I only noticed it after I finished the whole video and I had to just go over them once again, so do not follow my example. So anyway, after I'm done with this, we are done with the whole setup for 2021. And now for the final look through for my setup for 2021. I decided to write the numbers 2021 on the first page of the bullet journal just so that there is some form of contextualization, but I instantly regretted it the moment I wrote it. I just felt that it was really out of place and it just didn't really look good, but I decided to just leave it as it is. Afterwards, I wrote a little quote on the left side and my key on the right side. And I decided to use my Uniball Signal white pen just to add a little bit more details to my paintings. But I did not film the process, but this is how it looks like. But yeah, I couldn't film it earlier because my Uniball Signal pen ran out of ink, so I actually had to go out to get a new one. But we are done, we are good, and I managed to finish my bullet journal, so that is great. And then moving on, we did the grid spacing, and then on the right side was a little quote that said be kind to yourself, and I think that would be my quote for 2021. Moving on to my dreams and goals page, I really liked how that turned out. And now for my year-end themes, I'm really excited to fill this up and see how it will look like after it's all filled in. And finally, my 2 future logs. I think the future log for the second half of the year is probably my favorite setup for the entire 2021, so I'm really excited to fill it in. So that's all for my video. I hope you enjoyed this video, and do stay tuned to see more of my monthly plan with me videos because I will be doing those every month. If you enjoyed this video, do like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!